Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. This time it's a re-review, as you can tell from the title, and we are visiting the Perfect Draft Pro this time. It's Diebels, which is an altbier or altbier or old beer in English terms, if you like. I reviewed it on the Perfect Draft originally, and that chills the beer down to 3 degrees. Well, this sort of beer for me is it's almost a hybrid. It's a cross between a lager and an ale. It's dark, so I actually think it'll be better warmer, which is the reason that I'm doing this re-review, because I own the Perfect Draft Pro. So with the temperature control that you can get from it, I've decided to re-review it at a different temperature. Now, I put this in this morning. The app tells you to, or recommends 3 degrees for this beer. For me, I think it'll be better warmer. So I put the keg in and I set it at 7 degrees. I then went on the internet and done a little bit of like looking around, see what sort of like the perfect temperature is for it. And because it's sort of like a hybrid beer, the one site that I looked at recommends that it's not as cold as a Pilsner, even though it's almost Pilsner style beer, if you like. Not as cold as a Pilsner, but not as hot or as warm as a cask ale. So that was recommended between 4 and 10 degrees. I've set mine at 7, which I've done beforehand, which is rather lucky, isn't it? So yeah, let's get this video going and pour the beer and see what we get. So I won't do a video of the pour like I normally do. What I'll do is I'll just pause the video, do a video of the pour, probably take a snapshot ready for the thumbnail, and then we'll come back and take it from there. So back in a tick. So we're back. Beer is poured. I didn't do a video of it. Like I said, I couldn't be asked. What was the point? It took 2 attempts to get this good. It was the first beer out the keg. So it was a little bit lively, that first one. I never do that little bit of a pour. I can't be asked. But I waited for it to settle. Took a little bit of the head off. And then just topped it up. So there you go. Beer in a glass. Like I say, it's a cross between, it sort of uses a lot of ale ingredients, but it's cold, what is it? It's almost cold, it's cold lagered, if you like. They rather than, they sort of like lager it down to sort of like some ridiculous 1 degree or something. So whereas an ale would be warmer, this is sort of done like a lager, even though it's sort of like got all the ales kind of things in there. So yeah, let's stop waffling. Now, like I say, when I first done the review, it was sort of light, like a lager to drink. Maybe had that sort of refreshingness, almost, if you like, of a lager. Maybe not refreshingness, but it drunk like a lager, but tasted like an ale. Let's keep it simple. So I'm hoping it's actually going to be maybe more ale-like now, being warmer, but in a glass, and see, nice deep sort of chestnut colour. There is gentle carbonation going up. You might not be able to see that. We had a good 2 to 3, probably 3 finger compact, slightly sort of off-white head, and it's gone down about halfway, but it's still holding, looking good. So let's dive in on the nose, see what we get on the nose. I haven't looked at my review again, so, and Baz swills it everywhere. I haven't looked at my review, so I think you did get a little bit of sort of ale aroma, but I'm hoping you'll get a bit more on this now. Yeah, you do get a bit more. For me, it smells more like an ale. Big malty notes in there. Even maybe a bit of toffee caramel that are maybe, I can't remember if I picked them out in the first video, but they're certainly there, and I would say if they weren't there, I'm picking them up now, or if they were there, they're definitely a lot more sort of noticeable. Yeah, I mean, it's ale-like, really. Malty, you get the hoppy sort of, that sort of ale kind of hop kind of thing going on in there as well. Toffee caramel on the nose. And you really do pick that up a lot. Smells good anyway. No signs of any sort of a lager aroma in there for me. So let's dive in, give it a taste, see if it's any different. Oh yeah, that totally changes the beer. Yeah, it's still Diebels, but the flavour is totally different again. Having it warmer has brought out so much more of the dark side of this beer. As you know, lighter beers you want colder, darker beers you want warmer. If you have a cold beer warm, you lose the flavour. If you have a dark beer warm, with what goes into it, it just brings out the flavour. It enhances the flavour. But if you have these sort of beers too cold, you lose all that flavour. Body feels better. Seems odd, maybe. It's still reasonably light, but it does feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just that being warmer makes it feel a bit more fuller. Taste-wise, your sort of first impressions are sort of lager-like because of the lightness of the beer. But there's no, for me, no inkling of sort of lager in the taste, if you want. After that, initial sort of, it's like a lager. You're greeted with a big malty beer. Hops come through. You get that hoppy ale fruitiness going on. Right on the back end, it gets a little bit sweeter. You get that little bit of sweetness, maybe toffee caramel in there. And even behind that, the beer tends to go a little bit bitter then. Again, it's not going to be to everyone's taste because for me it's more ale-like. It kind of drinks lager-like, which I suppose most people might go, hang on, or it drinks like a lager. Get to that ale taste and they won't like it. It's advertised almost as a lager. I'm certain it's advertised as a lager. For me, it's more like an ale that drinks like a lager. For me, that improves the beer. And I would actually be very tempted to try that a bit warmer as well. Would I do another review of it? Probably not, because you'd be bloody taking the piss, wouldn't you then? How many reviews of one beer can you do? But the fact that it's the first beer out of the keg, I would be very tempted to up the temp on this and just try it for my own personal sort of taste, and maybe just put a post up rather than a video. But yeah, I mean, if you like Diebels on the Perfect Draft normally, and if you're thinking of getting the Perfect Draft Pro, it definitely improves that. And as with most beers, I think the Perfect Draft Pro, with that tinkering, is going to give you scope to change the flavours in the beer almost. So yeah, I like it. I like it on the Perfect Draft normally. Do I like it more on the Perfect Draft Pro? I do. I really do. And I'm going to have a bit more of a tinker with it while I'm drinking this keg. Do it maybe higher and see what I think of it then. But it could end up being a regular beer for me, just because it's just something slightly different. Obviously you got the left brune, but this really is more sort of traditional sort of English ale. So yeah, for me, I like it. The Perfect Draft Pro improves Diebels when you up the temperature. So that's it. That's my thoughts on this beer a bit warmer. Thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been reasonably interesting. Feel free to subscribe and like the video. Like I say, thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you in peace, and I'll see you all again soon on another beer review. Cheers.